recording. And if I could get myself back to my first screen, that would be so nice. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and begin sharing again, because now look at this. Why do you think? Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so we have everything going now. Oh, now we got more people entering. Hang on one second here. If there's one reason to always be on time for a Zoom class, yes, because as I'm trying to get everything going and then I have more people joining on it, just all right, more people are coming. Hang on one second, guys. What happens is then I have to go through and mute everybody again. I have to hide the meeting controls and everything. It just causes just a little bit of delay for myself, but hey, we're getting through it just fine. All right. So here we go. We got a nice little group. I wanted to talk a little bit, as I was thinking, I think a lot about the old, I think a lot about the new. I think about the oils that I've been using since the very beginning of my essential oil introduction. And then I think about some of the progress and not so much progress, but maybe just the new oils and the new things that are coming out. And so what I did was I chose a handful. Okay, I think I'm going to talk about 5 to 6 oils today. That's really all I want to talk about, is about 5 to 6 oils. And I chose these oils. Hang on one second. We've got more people joining on. Like I say, I went ahead and I chose about 5 to 6 oils that I wanted to talk about that all have similar qualities, similar properties, some that are old, very old, and some that are new, very new. Some that are just straight essential oil from one particular tree or bark or root or stem or flower. And you're going to see, and I'm going to talk to you just a little bit as we go through. I'm going to talk about just where some of these oils are actually extracted from. But then also I'm going to talk about a couple of blends. And the way that doTERRA, which I think is actually a very beautiful thing, is the fact that doTERRA, what doTERRA does is they blend oils together to give the best of the properties of a multitude of oils. And we're going to talk about that just a little bit. But first, what I want to talk about is just exactly, what is this idea of essential oils, and where does it even begin, right? So what I was doing is I've been going through a study of the first couple chapters of Genesis, just talking about the creation. And when I was doing this class, I kind of thought about, some of the things that I was actually studying on. And so these are 2 verses that are found in the first chapter of Genesis. This was during the creation of the earth and all of the beautiful things that God brought into existence. One of the scriptures says, God said that the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, an herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And that's really where I want to jumpstart into this class today, is the idea of all of these things that God has brought into existence, that God saw that was good. And he's given these things to us. And so hence, with doTERRA, and then even the name of doTERRA, it means the gift of the earth, right? God put it in the earth to give us these things, okay? Whether it's an essential oil that's derived from a fruit, whether it's an essential oil that's derived from a root, whether it's an essential oil that's derived from the bark or from the tree, the other tree parts, I should say, whether it's derived from stems, right? There's all of these oils that are derived from different parts of a plant. And that's what we want to talk about, are some oils that I find to be just very, well, like I said, I just hope that you guys can just learn as I was learning. I had some fun putting this together. It's going to be a different type of a class. I'm not going into any chemistry. I'm not going into any science. I'm just going into some basic, just to me, just what our eyes could see, what our nose could smell, what our lips could taste, right? And what our fingers can touch. Okay, so just a little bit of history. So we know that, essential oils in this day and time are very trendy, right? Everything has got essential oils. Candles have essential oils. Fragrances have essential oils, right? There's essential oils are just flooding the market, right? But they're not new at all. As a matter of fact, they were actually the oldest form of medicine, okay? Dating thousands of years back. All right, we're going to talk about some of these oils that are actually in the tombs. I'm not going to talk about tombs. I'm not going to talk about, but just so that everybody understands how old some of these oils are. In particular, frankincense, a very old essential oil. Matter of fact, it was actually found in King Tut's tomb. So we're talking thousands of years old, right? Used in China, India, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and many of them are found spoken very frequently in the Bible, such as cassia, such as myrrh, such as hyssop, right? Frankincense, spikenard, and there's more, okay? Cysteine. So there's many oils that we actually can use for different things. And I really hope that maybe Patty Jo can talk a little bit about some of the oils that she has been diffusing, and how much she likes them. And I'm kind of putting Patty Jo on the spot. But Patty Jo has been enjoying some of these oils that we're going to talk about. So what are essential oils? They're organic compounds. They're extracted from plants that have therapeutic properties. They can be found in the plant's flower, in the stem, in the leaves, in the bark, the fruit, the root, okay? So they can be found in many parts of the plant. So it's not like, we're just going to use the flower and the rest of it goes. No, there's actually essential oils that are derived from different parts of the plant and are even called by different names, right? And we can talk about that another time. But essential oils, very importantly, they should smell exactly like the plant that they came from. That's the problem that we have with a lot of the store-bought oils. They have additives, they have synthetics, they're made to smell sweeter. This means that the therapeutic properties are either decreased or non-existent, okay? So very important that if you buy lemon oil, that it smells like a lemon. That if you buy peppermint oil, that it smells like peppermint, right? And your nose really knows, right? So we can count on how we're smelling this. Does this actually smell like a wild orange, right? So essential oils are not the same as vegetable and or olive oils, okay? Now this is where you go into the carrier oils, and we'll talk about that. Vegetable oils, they're obtained from the fatty parts of the plant, such as the nuts, the seeds, or the kernels, and they're usually more greasy than an essential oil. These are called carrier oils since they're often used to dilute the potency of therapeutic grade oils when applied to your skin. Not only do they dilute, they allow absorption to happen more easily, They allow the surface area to be greater. Okay. Now, if anybody has ever tried taking Deep Blue from the Deep Blue bottle and just putting it on their skin, by the time you get it onto your skin, it's like, wait, where did it go? I can't spread it around, right? But if you put a couple drops of fractionated coconut oil or olive oil or jojoba oil or almond oil or moringa seed oil, if you put just a couple drops along with those couple drops of the Deep Blue oil, and then you get it around, oh, you find that you can spread it a lot further. So you get more benefit in a larger area. What does that mean? It means that you're using less. Okay, so it's very important. Now, of course, with Deep Blue, like I was saying, we have Deep Blue in many different forms now in doTERRA, and so that's actually a very nice thing, is the fact that we do have it in Blue Rub, which actually does allow for a greater surface area. Deep Blue Rub is an awesome oil. If you have not tried the Deep Blue Rub, then you're definitely missing out. I put it on sometimes, even if I'm not feeling any kind of pain. Why? I just love the way it makes me feel. It loosens up my shoulders. Wherever, I was putting it on my back area. I was, having some pain there. Well, I still am actually. And so I frequently will put it on just to help. So it helps in many different areas. Now, like I say, I'm going to go through a couple of oils, a couple of types from old to the very newest. Okay, and so just sit back and relax and just kind of enjoy this as I was enjoying putting it together from old to new. All right, so of course, frankincense. Frankincense must always be spoken of. All right, the other day, a good friend of mine was having a migraine. Her husband called me early in the morning. Well, he texted me first early. I mean, we're talking early in the morning. He texted me first, "Hey, are you awake?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm awake." So he calls me right away and he's like, "My wife is so sick. She's having migraines. She's having all of these issues. What should I do?" What was my first thought, or one of my first thoughts, was, of course, frankincense. I told him to take the frankincense bottle, take the cap off, put your thumb over the top of the cap and just turn that bottle over and back. On your thumb, immediately press it to the roof of your mouth. In his case, I was telling him what she should do. She did it. She did that along with some Deep Blue on her shoulders and her neck. And about 15, 20 minutes later, I texted him back. I said, "Hey, how's it going?" She says she's feeling better. I was like, yes, that's what we want, right? That's what we want. We want results, right? Otherwise, why use them? Otherwise, they're just a gimmick, right? Just to smell good, which is fine in itself, right? We burn candles, just because they smell good, which often are very unhealthy for us and what causes migraines, right? But anyway, when I hear stories like that, it makes me so happy because what you said, what you suggested actually brought some results. Isn't that what we want? We want results, right? Another very good friend of mine, she called me up and she said, "Do you have any extra frankincense?" And I wasn't home at the time. So when I got home, I looked through my box because I often keep, extra oils, but I didn't have an extra bottle of frankincense. And the bottle that I had only had a little bit left. I need to order more for myself. And she was like, she said, "I need frankincense." And so I went ahead and I placed an order really quick and I, got it over to her. And what she told me is she deals with a lot of health problems. And she said, frankincense is one of the only things that will relieve the pain in her body. So she does frankincense and copaiba, both of them. And we're going to talk about copaiba in just a few minutes. And so I ordered her both of them, got them over to her, and she's so happy, right? And so frankincense, we can talk all about the benefits of frankincense, right? But unless you have actually experienced it in your own life, it's nothing more than words, right? So it's very important that we can actually show some examples of the benefits of frankincense. So let's talk just a little bit about frankincense and what it's good for. Now, look at some of the diseases that are on this slide, right? We've got postpartum depression, something that you literally cannot even put, you can't put your finger on postpartum depression. It's not something that you can actually see, like you can actually, see the results of a lab, or maybe the results of a CT scan or an MRI, right? You can't actually see it, but it is real, is it not? Any of us that have had babies, we understand what postpartum depression is, okay? And if you can have a remedy that could help, even if it's just alleviating some of the symptoms, isn't that benefit? Isn't that reason enough to go ahead and utilize these things that God said was good? Tumors, immune system support, cough, arthritis, aneurysm, confusion, Alzheimer's. I've been putting frankincense just right here. I just drop a few drops when I get out of the shower on the crown of my head. Why? Because I'm getting old and I don't want to get Alzheimer's, right? I already forget stuff and I don't even have Alzheimer's, or maybe I do, I don't know. But anyway, what are we trying to do? We're trying to prevent things, right? We're trying to prevent things. If you already have cancer, if you already have Alzheimer's, if you already have plague, if you already have cough, if you already have arthritis, it's a lot harder. Well, I'll take cough out of it. Forget that I said cough. I'm talking about these chronic conditions, right? Cough is an acute issue that oftentimes it takes even more. But when I'm talking about a chronic condition, I'm talking about something that took a while to build up to that point. And it's not just going away, right? Like if you have arthritis, it's not just like, oh, okay, I'm here today and gone tomorrow. No, it sticks around, right? Often until you die. And so the thing with these essential oils is that they're actually able, and when I'm talking about in particular frankincense, has the ability to actually make changes at a cellular level. That's actually a really neat thing. And they're doing all kinds of studies on this one oil called frankincense, right? So things like brain injury, MRSA, just your aging brain, right? Which is the reason why I'm putting it on mine, okay? Because I'm aging, right? Inflammation, wrinkles, I put it on my face all the time. That's like a daily thing. And do you see any wrinkles on my face? I'm joking. I do have some, but anyway, what I'm saying though is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to prevent things, aren't we? That's what it's all about. We're trying to prevent aging from happening. Now, it's going to happen, right? We're going to age and we're going to die. That's inevitable, right? But what we're trying to do is we're just trying to make our quality of life from this point up until we die, we're trying to make it better. Right? Isn't that what we do? Isn't that why we eat healthy? We take our vitamins, we watch our weight, we exercise, we get sunshine, fresh air, all of those things. These are things that actually help. They benefit our body, our flesh, right? That we know is going to die. We know is going back to the ground, but we're just trying to take care of it while we're here, right? So very, very important. All right, so frankincense is going to be the oil that I talk the most about, but I'm going to kind of go through some of these slides rather quickly. But I wanted to talk about 10 benefits of this beautiful, wonderfully smelling oil called frankincense. Okay, so first, helps reduce stress reactions and negative emotions. So when inhaled, frankincense oil has been shown to reduce heart rate and high blood pressure. And that's just inhaling it. Forget about actually putting it into your body, makes it even better. But just when inhaled, reduces your heart rate, helps to reduce high blood pressure. It has anti-anxiety and anti-depression reducing abilities. So like I was saying, postpartum depression. But unlike prescription medications, what does it not have? Negative side effects, right? It doesn't cause drowsiness, right? It helps to boost the immune system function and prevents illness. Studies have demonstrated that frankincense benefits extend to immune-enhancing abilities that may help to destroy dangerous bacteria, viruses, and even cancer. These are studies that have actually supported what I'm saying. It's not like I'm just throwing things out there, right? You know, I'm not selling snake oil here, right? This is real stuff, okay? It can be used to prevent germs from forming on the skin, mouth, or in your home. This is the reason that many people choose to use frankincense to naturally relieve oral health problems, because the antiseptic qualities of this oil may help prevent gingivitis, bad breath, cavities, toothaches, mouth sores, and other infections from occurring. So it's good for your skin, it's good for your brain, it's good for your mouth, it's good for your heart, it's good for your cells. It is just good. Like I said, God made it and he said it was good. Now, frankincense along with myrrh. Now, myrrh is very important because myrrh in particular is very good for oral health. As a matter of fact, doTERRA has a really good toothpaste that has myrrh in it, specifically put there because myrrh is very good for oral hygiene. Now, here's some more research. Several research groups have found that frankincense has promising anti-inflammatory and anti-tumor effects when tested in lab studies and on animals. Frankincense oil has been shown to help fight cells of specific types of cancer. Researchers in China investigated the anti-cancer benefits or effects, of frankincense and myrrh on 5 tumor cell lines in a lab study. The results showed that human breast and skin cancer cell lines showed increased sensitivity to the combination of myrrh and frankincense essential oils. A 2012 study even found that a chemical compound found in frankincense called AKBA is successful at killing cancer cells that have become resistant to chemotherapy, which may make it a potential natural cancer treatment. Wow. I mean, just wow. That's pretty amazing if you ask me. Now, as an astringent, it can kill harmful germs and bacteria. Now, we just talked about that a few minutes ago, but I want to go a little further. Frankincense is an antiseptic and disinfectant agent that has antimicrobial effects. It has the ability to eliminate cold and flu germs from the home and the body naturally, and it can be used in place of chemical household cleaners. Here's another study published in Letters in Applied Microbiology found that the combination of frankincense oil and myrrh oil is particularly effective when used against pathogens. These two oils, which have been used in combination since the 1500s, BC, that is, have synergistic and additive properties when exposed to certain microorganisms. These are just some really, really interesting studies, all right? You want to take care of things at their very earliest onset, right? So take viruses, for example, right? Don't you want what's within your body to be able to easily kill viruses, right? So that way, if little COVID virus comes floating around and gets into your nose and down your throat and all of that, we want our bodies to put up a response, right? That's the beauty of these essential oils, okay? The antiviral properties. Not only that, the antibacterial properties. Now, look at this frankincense tree that's just hanging on the cliff. I mean, what an unbelievable and inhospitable place for a tree to be growing. I just think that's pretty marvelous, right? Now, while you're looking at this tree and where it's growing and just the inhospitable environment that it's in, I want you to understand one thing, that this tree in all of this this environment that it's in, it is placed right in the place that it needs to be. Like, we don't have frankincense growing here. It has to have the right environment. And so doTERRA goes to where the tree best grows. Remember, when God made everything, he made it good. So there are specific environments that trees are best able to produce and to flourish. And for the frankincense tree, this is one of the places. Could you just imagine having to harvest the essential oil in that particular place? And then you wonder why this oil is going to be more expensive than some of the other oils. Okay, all of these things have to be taken into consideration. Now, for improving memory, research suggests that frankincense oil can be used to improve memory and learning functions. And some animal studies even show that using frankincense during pregnancy may increase the memory of a mother's offspring. Now, that's pretty unbelievable. I don't know how all of that works, but these are some studies that are being done. I mean, so if you're pregnant, get some frankincense. You want to have a smart kid, you know, or maybe a kid that can remember things, right? Now, also frankincense may help balance hormones and improve fertility. Now, as a woman, we are a literal hormone organism, right? We operate on hormones. Now, men do as well, but in particular, a woman, those hormones are moving us in many different directions. There are things that women can do based upon hormones that are absolutely incredible. The fact that we can sustain a human life inside of us, that is all regulated by hormones, okay? So we want our hormones to be balanced, especially if we're not pregnant, right? When we're pregnant, our hormones are just going absolutely crazy. After we give birth, again, hormones are going absolutely crazy. When we go into the later years, or our hormones, there's a lack of some hormones. And there are some things that women deal with as a result of that hormone imbalance, okay? Now, frankincense oil benefits may include reducing symptoms associated with menstruation and menopause, like we were just talking about, by balancing hormone levels. It has been used to help relieve pain, cramps, constipation, headaches, anxiety, nausea, fatigue, and mood swings. Now, one thing to note with women and our headaches, oftentimes our headaches are hormone induced. Just saying, okay? Anybody who's done any kind of research on headaches, if you are a sufferer of headaches or migraines, you've done a little bit of research, and one thing that you've known is that, or one thing that you've seen is that at certain times of the month, headaches are more likely than at other times, right? Hormone induced, okay? So balancing those hormones, very, very important. Frankincense oil may also help with regulating estrogen production and may reduce the risk of tumor or cyst development in premenopausal women. All right, and it continues. Frankincense is just a wonderful, wonderful essential oil. Eases digestion. It helps the digestive system to properly detox and produce bowel movements. It may also help to reduce pain and cramping in the stomach, relieve nausea, flush out excess water from the abdomen that can cause bloating, and even relieve PMS-related stomach pains. It does this by speeding up the secretion of digestive enzymes. Now, that's something that a lot of people might not understand. But when your food is in your, actually it starts in your mouth, because there's enzymes that are actually secreted in your mouth that break up, you know, like there's lactase. There's all of these different enzymes that when your digestion starts right here. As soon as that food enters your mouth, digestion starts. Okay, once it goes into the stomach, it's hit with hydrochloric acid as well as other enzymes. Once it goes into the duodenum, the pancreas is sending enzymes, the liver and the gallbladder, which the gallbladder, all it does is just stores what the liver makes, which is called bile. If you've eaten a high fatty food, it's sending that into the duodenum. And what that does is it mixes all together and begins now metabolism. Okay. Once it's in that soupy mixture, now metabolism starts. And now you're extracting everything that's good out of that. Well, frankincense actually helps in speeding up the secretion of certain enzymes, because oftentimes people are lacking in enzymes. Why is that? Why are we lacking in enzymes? Well, fruits and vegetables have a large amount of the enzymes that we need. Well, our soil is being depleted of all of these important, what should I call it, ingredients that are found in our fruits, our vegetables, the things that we eat, okay? So one of the biggest problems, matter of fact, the greatest reason why people visit the ER is for digestive issues. And there are a multitude of them. And sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, what is it? You've got diverticulitis, you have Crohn's disease, you have ulcerative colitis, you've got IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. There are lactose intolerance. There are so many digestive issues, right? So what we need to do is we need to pay attention to our gut health, because with our gut health, there are so many other processes that happen in our bodies as it relates to metabolism and gut health. All right. So I know I kind of went off on a tangent there, and I'm sorry about that, but I just can't pass the opportunity to just kind of talk about some of that stuff. What about increasing urination production? Releasing the muscles, or I'm sorry, relaxing the muscles of the digestive tract. That helps with bladder movement. Okay, bladder movement is all due to the contraction of whether it's our colon, whether it's the small intestines, but in particular that colon is it's contracting, and that moves the bowel through your digestive system. Very, very important for it to be moving properly, right? We all understand what happens when it doesn't move properly. It's not good. It's not good, right? How about helping to improve circulation, which is also needed for proper digestive health? It's been shown to be beneficial in reducing symptoms of leaky gut syndrome, chronic colitis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, and IBS. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that this one essential oil can do so many things, right? We've already talked about mouth health. We've talked about our skin. We've talked about our brain. Now we're going to digestion, but it does not stop there. That's why frankincense, you literally can have class after class after class just talking about this oil called frankincense. Matter of fact, I have, if you look at some of my old YouTubes, just type in my name, Barbara Bro, and look under, well, actually there's two classes. One is the King of the Oils, and the second is I have a whole class on an oil called Frank. Kind of funny. Anyway, how about acting as a sleep aid? I diffuse frankincense a lot at night. I love frankincense at night. It lowers the levels of anxiety and chronic stress that can keep you up at night. It is a calming, grounding scent that can naturally help you to fall asleep. This natural sleep aid helps to open up breathing passages, allows your body to reach an ideal sleeping temperature, and can eliminate pain that keeps you up. Pretty amazing. How about decreasing inflammation and pain? Now, we did just talk a little bit about pain. How about the fact that frankincense can inhibit the production of key inflammatory molecules associated with conditions like arthritis, asthma, painful bowel disorders like IBS, and many more conditions? It can be useful in helping prevent the breakdown of the cartilage tissue and has been shown to significantly reduce levels of dangerous and painful inflammation. It's a natural treatment option for pain-related conditions that affect the muscles, joints, and the tendons. And that's a big one, especially as we get older, right? Osteoarthritis, all osteoarthritis is it's just wear and tear on our joints. And a lot of us women have osteoarthritis. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but a lot of us have it. I mean, I certainly could have it. And I just, it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to know if I have osteoarthritis, right? Well, osteoarthritis isn't necessarily going to be a bad diagnosis, but if you have the diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis, well, now you have a problem, because that medical, it's called an MIB, that literally follows you everywhere. Like if you want to get, life insurance or whatever, they pull an MIB. And rheumatoid arthritis is one of those things that can actually kick you out from getting a good low-cost life insurance policy, but also other things as well. And we're not going to talk about that right now, but we are going to talk about the human brain, the most complex organ within the body. I absolutely love talking about the human brain. It is just unbelievable. When God made the human brain, he made a beautiful thing. Okay, it is the most complex organ within the body. I remember when I was in my AMP class, and I asked my instructor, because we were talking about all of the electrons and all of the nerve impulses and thoughts and all of that, and I was like, goodness, where do thoughts come from? Where do thoughts come from? Are they intrinsic? Do they come, or are they extrinsic? Do they come from somewhere? Very, very, very amazing. I tell you, if I was young, I would love to be like a neurologist. I think that would be an unbelievably incredible field of study to go into. But we only literally know about 1/10 of the ability of this body system called the nervous system. And in particular, we're talking about the brain. Injuries to the brain range from mild concussions to more serious head trauma. Usually, various brain injuries are slow to heal, but frankincense oil can aid greatly in the process. Frankincense works by aiding oxygenation of blood going to the brain. Now, very, very important, oxygen levels going to the brain. This in turn will aid in oxygen absorption. And when oxygen is absorbed effectively, it allows the brain to process and retain information. It allows the brain to heal. Very, very important. It allows the brain to function correctly. Frankincense is the essential oil of choice for any kind of brain disorder. Parkinson's, stroke, Alzheimer's, dementia, depression, anxiety, the list goes on. The essential oil of choice for any kind of brain disorder. So now you can see why this essential oil is just, it is the king of essential oils. All right. Enough said about frankincense. Now we're going to talk about frankincense's little brother, okay? Copaiba. It's also known as poor man's frankincense. Kind of interesting, right? Poor man's frankincense. Now this oil is dear to my heart, and the reason why is because I have a Brazilian daughter-in-law, and she's taught me a lot about Copaiba. First of all, she told me how to say it, right? Copaiba. But she told me that this oil literally is used when babies are born, that they rub them down with Copaiba oil. Very, very interesting things about these oils that, because we're used to Western medicine, right? And everything is very clinical. And, it's like if the doctor doesn't, give his, sign off on something, and we're not going to do it, and it's like, you know what? The blend of Eastern and Western medicine, I believe, is the best way that we can take care of our bodies, right? Chemotherapy has its place, does it not? If it's either that I'm going to die in 2 weeks or I'm going to do some aggressive chemotherapy, you better believe I'm doing the chemotherapy. But I'm also going to be utilizing Copaiba and frankincense and some other oils. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about Copaiba. The benefits of Copaiba are wide and broad. Okay, now why did I choose to talk about Copaiba? Every one of these oils, you're going to notice that they kind of overlap in their abilities and capabilities within our body. Okay, they all are going to work for one at a cellular level. Okay, but the benefits are going to be very similar. Okay, so the benefits of Copaiba supports the health of cardiovascular, our immune system, our digestive system, and our respiratory system. It is a powerful antioxidant. What does that mean? Well, antioxidants are the things that age our bodies. Okay, so an antioxidant, okay, oxidative stress are what make a banana go from beautiful yellow to brown spots and all of that kind of stuff, right? That's oxidation, oxidative stress. That's what makes us age, okay? So an antioxidant would just do the opposite, right? Anti, right? Goes against the oxidative stress or the oxidation that normally is going to take place in our bodies. Now, does that mean that, that this is like the, what do you call, the fountain of youth type of a thing? I mean, we're going to die, right? We all understand that, right? That's a given. We were born and we're going to die, right? But if we can keep ourselves as long as we possibly could, right, from going through the aging process, if we can prolong, or if we can help ourselves to age, what do they call it? Aging gracefully, right? Isn't that what we just want to do? Just age gracefully. Okay. So Copaiba has got many of the same benefits that frankincense has, maybe not as wide, and it's not being studied like frankincense is, but it's frankincense's little brother. Okay. It definitely can help. Okay. So how do you use it? You take it internally, you put it on your skin. It's just it's also going to be very, very helpful in many, many ways. I'm just not going to go into it like I went into frankincense. Okay. Copaiba also has in a soft gel, and I would actually love it if frankincense did the same, but I take the Lifelong Vitality, and frankincense is in the Lifelong Vitality. So Copaiba, though, has a little soft gel. And so it's for liver and antioxidant support, cardiovascular health, sustains proper immune response, digestive support. It's also to support proper neurological function and respiratory function. So a lot in this little teeny tiny soft gel. It's actually very small, very easy to take. Now, a lot of people talk about CBD, right? Well, as frankincense's little brother, that's one thing about Copaiba that I really, really like about this little guy, okay, is the fact that when you compare it to CBD, it's better. It's cheaper. It doesn't contain psychoactive cannabinoids, right? You don't need, pharmaceutical prescriptions, right? There are more than 1,000 published studies on the benefits of Copaiba as opposed to CBD, okay? This gives you direct receptor activation, whereas CBD gives indirect receptor activation. And I just know that Lewis is going to chime in on this after my class, and he is welcome to. All right, brain health and oils. So here we go again with the Copaiba. Here we go again with the frankincense, but notice rosemary and cypress are also in there. I love, matter of fact, I got rosemary sitting right here on my desk. Rosemary is very, very good if you are trying to study, if you are trying to concentrate, if you are trying to focus. Rosemary. And then of course, cypress I use all the time. I don't use cypress for my brain health. I use cypress for vein and circulation issues. So Copaiba, once again, considered a poor man's frankincense. So it's just a little cheaper than frankincense. All right, now, vetiver. Okay, vetiver is awesome. Okay, now the one thing about vetiver is getting it out of that bottle, right? We all understand if we have vetiver, it's like, you know, we're just and you're just waiting for the vetiver to get out of the bottle, right? Well, it's very, very helpful when you have vetiver to have one of those little dropper tops because it is so very thick, right? So I just want to put that out there first. But now look at this picture of vetiver. What is this that you see? This is roots. So this is an essential oil that is extracted from roots of the vetiver plant. It's actually grass, and it grows abundantly in this extremely poor, hostile environment called Haiti. Okay, they have all kinds of natural disasters and problems and issues, and it's hot, it's arid, it's dry, it's all of these things. Vetiver is what we get. With the use of vetiver, understand what you are doing for an incredibly poor country is just unbelievable. And that's something that Sharon could say a few things on after class. But here are some of the top uses of vetiver. It's good for attention. You know anybody with ADHD? You know anybody with autism? It's good for focus and concentration, anxious feelings, hyperactivity, cognitive support, skin irritation, stretch marks, sleep, calming, sadness, trauma, immunity support. It's the oil of centering and grounding. If you know somebody that's got insomnia, this is definitely an oil that they want to have. Okay, very, very wonderful oil. Now, you can use vetiver to encourage a focused learning environment for your kids, okay? Focused learning environment. So it works on our brain, on our neurological system. Vetiver, just like I say, liquid sleep in a bottle of oil. And Lou might be able to tell us that about that time where he gave somebody that was at one of our classes a little bit of vetiver and what it did to her. All right, so the suggested uses for vetiver. You can add it because you can take this internally during the wintertime to promote immunosupporting properties. It can be used in a massage. It can be used in a bath. You can diffuse it with lavender or serenity or balance to calm the emotions. And again, here we go. Use a toothpick to help get the desired amount out of the container. If vetiver is too thick, just to get it out of the bottle, try that little toothpick, or like what I was saying, the little syringe where you can, it's like a little dropper that you can actually pull it up. But just remember, a little goes a long way. So it's good that it takes a while to get out of the bottle. All right, I'm going to go through some of these quickly, but the adaptive line. Why do I want to talk about adaptive? Well, because of the properties. Now, I think, and I hope that now you could kind of see my frame of mind as I was putting these oils together, and what I'm just trying to get the old and then the new, because adaptive is a fairly new oil, but adaptive is a blend. It's not just one oil, all right? And so it's very, very good for neurological issues. There's a lot of clinical trials, and I'm not going to go into all those clinical trials, but I wanted to bring this slide in just so that way you can see that, you know, these are not just things that doTERRA is just throwing things out there haphazardly. No, there are clinical studies with these particular oils. Now, the adaptive system, okay, you've got the touch, you've got the adaptive soft gels, and then you have the adaptive oil. Okay, now this blend contains the oils of lavender, magnolia, neroli, sweet gum, copaiba, and rosemary. Those are for stress relief. And then you've got your wild orange and you've got your spearmint for energizing and uplifting. So again, you can use it through the limbic system, which is all the sense of smell. And then you can also take it systemically, which would be the soft gels, and that just gets into the body and it just goes all throughout the body. So whenever I say systemically, that just means that it goes everywhere internally. But the limbic system actually works quicker than, you know, that if you were to ingest an oil, that takes a little bit longer to actually activate than your limbic system. Your limbic system is immediate. It goes in through your nose and it makes immediate responses in your brain and then again into your body. All right. So for emotional support, we've got wild orange for joy, abundance, lavender, communication and calm, copaiba, unveiling, spearmint, confident speech, magnolia, reassurance, rosemary, knowledge and transition, and nerolic, intimacy, sweet gum, grace through change. Now, this is just, you know, some different emotional supports that, you know, that we get from that beautiful oil. Now, I want to talk about this oil called Hygge, right? And when you look at it, it's like Hygge. Yeah, if you were to pronounce it the way that we're taught to pronounce, we would say Hygge, right? But it's pronounced Hygge. Okay, it's the cozy blend. And I love this oil. It's a beautiful, beautiful, brand spanking new oil. It is a blend. Let's talk about what's in this blend, okay? So these are all the benefits: relaxing and sleep, reducing stress and anxiety, meditation makes for a cozy atmosphere. It is the oil of contentment and coziness. All right. Now, what is in Hygge? All right, we look at these beautiful, beautiful oils. You've got cedarwood, you've got frankincense, you have cistus, you've got vetiver, you have wild orange, tonka bean, myrrh, amyris, and vanilla. Some of the most beautiful oils that there are in this blend. So it's brand new, okay? So if anybody wants to try something beautiful and new, try Hygge. It's very, very good to diffuse. Okay. All right. Before I close, I just want to make sure, for those of you who were not on my last couple of classes, this is a system that I just got and I have been using and absolutely love. Okay. What this is a household collection. Okay. From your hand soap to your hand lotion, from your multi-purpose sprays to your dish soap and laundry soap, dishwashing soap, and then of course your diffuser blend. So this is a beautiful system that you could use in every room in your house. And I have been using it and I absolutely love it. Okay. Now, wanted to make sure I threw this in, that this Healthy Essentials kit is 20% off this month. If you know anybody who wants to start with the oils, this would definitely be a kit to start with this month. It gives you 10 of them, some of the most popular oils. It also gives you the diffuser. The Healthy Habits kit is also 20% off this month. The Cura collection is also 20% off this month. The Healthy Start kit is not, okay? But this is going to be your $160 starter kit. So if you know anybody who wants to start, you can send them on over to me and I will help them to get started in essential oils. I am done with my class. Let me go ahead and stop my sharing and get everybody on the screen. All right, awesome, awesome. Okay, quite a few of you joined in after the class, and I thank you for joining. I thank you for being here. I'm going to give away to a couple of people today. I'm going to give some samples. So if you would like a sample of Hygge, or if you would like a sample of Copaiba, or if you would like a sample of frankincense, you're going to let me know. And after I let you know that you're going to get a sample. But anyway, I've got a bunch of people here, and I know a couple of you probably want to say a couple things in response to what I was talking about, so you can unmute yourself. So let it be known that you want to talk, but I would like to start with Patty Jo. Could you tell me a little bit about what you've been diffusing and how you like what you've been diffusing. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Patty Jo.
I think I'm unmuted, right? Yeah, well, Barbara sent me a sample. Didn't you send me some spikenard or something? I asked, you said, what sample do you want? I said,